Hello there my YouTube friends and fans, welcome back to Elden Ring. In my last video I beat Godfrey finally in the Leyndell Royal Capital. That's the city up north. And I have to beat one last boss to finally be able to get behind the city, like up north where the snowy mountains are. And I have basically tried this, I would say about 10, maybe even 12 times, and tried all kinds of different tactics, got them down to probably like 10 to 20% many times, but never past that. So here is my final approach, where I finally learned enough about it to know how to take him down. I just have to be patient, and that's not really one thing that I'm good at. I usually get greedy, I want to get it like over with, and I rush it, and that's how I usually die. So the one thing learned from this game is do not rush anything in the boss fights. Take your time to learn it, and just try different methods, because that's really what makes this actually fun and less stressful. So what definitely seems to work the best here is the rotten breath, but you have to be careful that you do not run out of focus points or time, and you eventually will not have your summon anymore and you're by yourself. So what I've learned is literally apply it, let it do its job, and while it kind of does have still an effect, as you can see in the numbers going down, before it stops kind of applying it again, stay away from this arrow, which a lot of times always hits me. I was lucky there. And then just basically kind of run around in circles, stay away, and just keep an eye on this counter, because right now he is still suffering from the rot. And as long as this counter is running, you're fine. And what I also learned is that in order to keep Melina alive a little bit longer, Melina is the summon that's right behind me there, I have her actually come to me. That is very easy. If you run away from Margott, she's actually coming to you. She tries to kind of stay with you, and all I need her to do is really distract him. I don't need her to fight him. So it's fine if she stays with me, if she's not too close to me, because then he's attacking me, obviously. So now she's distracting him again, and he's getting into his second phase. So that went really fast. I only had to apply the rotten breath twice. And as you can see, it's still ticking down, but I'm applying it again, just in case. And for some reason, what I noticed here is that all of a sudden the counter is going into a 2-digit. I don't really know what that means, but that's where I had this problem before, and I'm like thinking, oh man, I should have actually waited off the second phase a little bit before applying it again. It might not work now, because as you can see, it's like barely ticking down. It's like a 2-digit ticking down. But it is ticking down, and now it stops again. So I'm like, okay, I have to apply it again. Let's see. So if you have enough FP flasks, you should be okay. But right now, again, we have the 4 digits countdown going, and what I'm trying to do right now is just stay away from him and just keep an eye on the rotten breaths counter, which is going right now. And this is where I made the mistake. I got impatient. I kind of walked up to him, tried to put in a few hits to kind of speed it up, and that's usually where he got me, because I feel like this boss, unless you are super good and know exactly, you know, what his moves are and how to avoid him and then still get a hit in between, I think it's better to just kind of like stay away. Stay away from all the stuff that he's throwing at you. Stay as far away as you can and let the rotten breath just do its work. And you have to be a little bit patient. I think this boss fight takes about 4 minutes if you do that this way. But it's totally worth it. And it's definitely less stressful than trying to constantly avoid his moves. Besides, you know, the stuff that he's throwing at you. But if you're far enough away, you should be okay. And then even all those swords that he is throwing, usually don't make it all the way out to the outer side of the arena. So if you just keep moving, you should be able to easily avoid them. And I am just about to lose Melina, but at the same time Margott just died. And I am just like, whoa, I did it, finally. So Melina literally lasted until the very end, which is amazing. And it took me 4 rotten breaths to get him down. I probably could have gotten away with 3 rotten breaths, because I think that after his second phase I should have waited a little bit with applying another one. But hey, whatever it takes. He is down, here he is, looks all small and not dangerous at all. Can't believe I was so scared about this guy for so long. I am super stoked at this point, because I can finally move on with this game. I can finally explore the rest of the map, which I have wanted to do for so long. But let me tell you, being patient is totally worth it. Take your time upgrading your weapons and exploring as much as you can and get lots of good stuff before you tackle those boss fights. There's no reason to rush finishing this game at all, because there's just so much to see and to discover. So there's a door up here, as you can see, and you've kind of forgot that this is not the way you're supposed to go. You can't really go through here, but that's a really cool looking door, isn't it? So you have to actually go back down in the city, but before I do that, I go and activate this grace, which just appeared here in the middle of the arena, because I probably have to come back here, and this is an easy way for me to get quickly back to this area. And while I'm doing that, or as soon as I'm doing that, there's actually a cutscene happening right here.
Hello again, old friend. Allow me a moment to converse with you. You are unable to enter the Erd Tree, no? Prevented by the mantle of barbs. The thorns are impenetrable, a husk of the Erd Tree's being that spurns all that exists without. The only way to stand before the Elden Ring and become the Elden Lord is to pass the thorns. My purpose serves to aid in that very act. So I'd like you to undertake a new journey with me to the Flame of Ruin, far above the clouds, upon the snowy mountain tops of the giants. Then I can set the Erd Tree aflame and guide you down the path to becoming Elden Lord.
And at this point, I'm still like in shock, or maybe not in shock, just like in disbelief that I actually beat both bosses here in a couple of days. Just being persistent and just saying to myself, I have to do this now. It's ridiculous. So I'm going down to the city, and I realize, oh, I still haven't killed this giant here, and if I don't, he's probably gonna kill me on the way to this gate. And as I soon learn is that this guy is constantly attacking like non-stop, so you never really get to do a move on him. So I just used the rotten breath on him, and I think it took like 3 rotten breaths and he was quickly down. So here we are approaching this big gate here, which apparently you cannot open until you beat those 2 bosses. I've never tried it before, but I believe it. And this is a big moment for me. I've waited for this for so long. So I'm just taking a quick look here. I already see a first enemy here. I assume the enemies are getting stronger and stronger now because we're getting in the upper level map. And I don't want to take any risks. So I go and quickly level up with the runes. The 100,000 runes I just got from Margott. and come back here, and I'm all ready with my low rune count to take any risks necessary. But I actually decide to just kind of run by those enemies because I'm so eager to get into this new map, because at this point I'm still in the city. I'm just in the outskirts of the city. So I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't yet. And I hope to see you next time when we play a little bit more Elden Ring. Until then, happy gaming, take care, bye bye.